What's up, guys? This is Kanan, coach of the Tulsa Drillber, and today I'm just going to do a quick video on my draft for the CWBL Season 2. That's the one that we just ended up winning a couple weeks ago. Hopefully everybody watched that video. This is going to be a little different than last season because we are doing a Series 8 draft. So each of us got to pick one legendary. Zacian crowned and both Calyrex forms, the riders, were banned, but we got to pick from everything else. I had the fifth overall pick. I took Zamazenta. I think Zamazenta has a lot of upside in a draft league. I think it's pretty underrated, honestly, just because if you look at its moves, let me pull this up here. Show you what I'm talking about. For one, it's just, its typing is not bad. Steel's always good. Behemoth Bash is fantastic. Close combat, always good. But 145 defense, 145 special defense is very, very good. That's almost the level of like Shuckle, but it's got almost twice the HP that Shuckle does. 128 speed, also fantastic. It's going to outspeed everything that's not, top speed tier. And it gets things like coaching. It gets things like wide guard, screens, as well as, doing good damage with its 2 stabs, close combat, and Behemoth Bash. It also gets like Helping Hand, Scary Face, Guard Swap. You could do some interesting things with potentially. I think it's an all-around kind of underrated Pokemon, especially for a draft league. So that was what I took. The rest of my draft was aimed at supporting that. So I took Lapras pretty early on because Fire and Ground are both going to be big threats to Zamazenta, and Lapras obviously covers both of those. As well as the fact that Zamazenta behind screens is going to be almost impossible to knock out. Move down a little bit here. My next pick was Salamence. I wanted something with Intimidate. I also wanted something that, since I'm not going to be maxing my Legendary like a lot of teams are, I wanted something that's going to be good to max, and Salamence gave me both roles in one. Salamence maxed is going to be pretty good. 135 attack is nothing to sneeze at. Its defenses are pretty good. It's got decent special attack if I need to go that way. Speed's okay. Not to mention, like I said, the Intimidate, or, you could even run Moxie if you were running it as your main max. So I think Salamence, it's got a ton of different moves, being Dragon type. I think it's just an overall good pick. So to go with that, I picked up Sylveon. Sylveon got bumped to a tier 2 this season, so I couldn't turn that down. It's got lots of upside, great special attack stat, great special defense stat, great typing, good ability. I think Sylveon just overall is a really good use of a tier 2. I also took Crobat that same round, I think, just because I wanted something with Tailwind. My team is fairly middle speed with things like Lapras. Salamence isn't at the very top. And then, I ended up picking up Blaziken too. So Crobat I thought was pretty important to get me that Tailwind set up. And very fast at 130, so it's going to outspeed most of the metagame. Add that to where, it can't be faked out. So you're almost guaranteed Tailwind every time unless they double into it. And if they're going to double into it, then you're going to, hit it with whatever attacker you lead it with. So I think Crobat's very good. Very underrated, really good tier 2 pick. I was happy with that. Next, I picked up Marowak. Again, going back to the supporting the Zamazenta and supporting the things that support the Zamazenta. So I wanted Lightning Rod since I had Lapras. Marowak also gives me coverage that I was missing. Gives me a good ground type, gives me a good Trick Room answer. It's not as slow as some things, that are the dominant Trick Room, but it gives me something that will at least compete in that arena. And like I said, Lightning Rod is going to be its main main focus. Next, I took Blaziken. Um, I think Speed Boost is very good um, in a meta where it's going to be a little bit slower. I think things are going to want to set up. Blaziken has a chance to do that. 120 attack is very good. 110 special attack, very workable. If I have to go that way, its defenses aren't great, but it's got decent HP. I think overall, I think it's mid upper tier um, for a tier two, maybe just mid tier for a tier two, but my other two tier twos are upper tier two for sure. So I felt like Blaziken, gave me some coverage. I needed a fire type. I wanted to complete, fire, water, grass core, and Blaziken fit that role really well. And I've got some interesting plans for it, so we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Next, speaking of that fire, water, grass core, I couldn't believe Serena was still around this deep in the draft, but I really wanted something to complete that fire, water, grass core. I didn't really have much fake out at all at that point. So I thought, if I can't, not gonna have fake out of my own, at least I can stop it with Serena. It'll also, blocking fake out or priority in general is very good. Gives me a good Rillaboom answer. Gives me a good, fake out Ice Shard, all that kind of stuff that my team doesn't really want to see. Gives me a good answer to that. And Serena's, its stats are solid: 120 attack, 98 defenses, middling speed, but got Crobat. So I think Serena was a really good pickup, and especially getting it that late. At this point, I was thinking I don't have anything to set or imprison Trick Room. I didn't have just a great Trick Room answer at this point or a great Trick Room mode. I still had a tier 1 pick left, and Gothitelle was available. So um, at this point, I was wanting Fake Out. I was wanting some extra bulk. I was wanting some Trick Room. And Gothitelle just checks all of those boxes. It's got 3 great abilities. I see a good way to make use of all 3. Um, got the ability, like I said, to fake out. I didn't have that on my team yet. I wanted some fake out, and I wanted a trick room setter. So I think Gothitelle, it's not super slow for trick room, but my team's not super slow for trick room. I've got a couple 60s, him at 65, Marowak at 60 or at 45. That will do well against really fast teams in trick room. So at least it gives me the option, and nothing else. Imprison is good, and it can function under Tailwind with competitive. Like I think Gothitelle just across the board kind of tied this team together, and was kind of what I was missing. So I'm really happy with it. Um, I don't know. The biggest problem that I see with this team in general is I think I'm going to have kind of 7 Mon syndrome where each week I'm going to struggle to know what to leave because kind of top to bottom, this team, it's not like last season where, I'm bringing Glacier, Amogus, Masharna every single game and then just deciding what extra pieces I'm going to go. I could see any of this coming or any of this staying every week. So there's a couple more niche things towards the bottom here. I picked up Berserker. There wasn't just a ton left at this point, and not just a ton that just really stood out to me. Um, I've always thought Berserker was a cool Pokemon. He makes me think of Wolverine, which, is always cool. And, I thought the potential of Zamazenta plus Berserker could be interesting. Gave me another Fake Out, gave me another Steel type, not things that are ever bad. So I went ahead and picked it up. His other ability, Tough Claws, is also cool. Could make use of that in a Trick Room mode. It's the second slowest Pokemon. So, especially running like Berserker plus Gothitelle helps me get Trick Room up if I want it for things like Marowak, Lapras, Sylveon, things like that. So I thought Berserker brought a lot to the team, um, even though he's not top of the spectrum as far as Pokemon go. 110 attacks not bad, 100 defense isn't bad, but 50 speed and 50 special attack, 60 special attacks, not great. 70 HP is not great, but like I said, I think it's got enough upside to be okay. And then Thievul, um, I don't have a ton to say about it. I wanted a dark type. It provided me a dark type. It's my tier 4. Weeks that go against things that have terrain, I think bringing Thievel is a valid option. I don't have a terrain setter myself, but this way I have a dark type. I have, you know, good options against terrain setters, and it kept the people that have terrain setters from having Thievel, which is objectively also good. So, you know, good use of my tier 4 slot, I thought. This is the first time I've ever not had multiple tier 4s, and kind of spread my stuff out a little bit more. An extra tier 1, an extra tier 2, an extra tier 3, as opposed to doing like the 2 tier 1s and 2 tier 4s like I've always done in the past. So, um, I think top to bottom, this team's very good. Like I said, I think my biggest problem is going to be knowing what to bring and knowing what to leave behind, because it's all valid. It's all, good. Um, I think it gives me a good matchup into a lot of things. And if I play it well and bring it well, I think I've got a shot to do well again. I don't know that I'll do as well as I did last season. That's, asking for a lot, but I think it's possible. I think it's possible. So we'll uh, we'll see how it goes, and we'll post the videos as they come. We've got our first one coming this week, and hopefully we do well. We'll find out. So, guys, I appreciate y'all coming out, seeing my thoughts here. If you have thoughts, comments, go ahead and comment on the video. Let me know. Um, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. I've got lots of good content coming up, and hope to continue to grow the channel and continue to grow these leagues. Um, this is the one that I'm one of the mods in, so this is one of the ones I'm more proud of. Um, we've got, like I said, playoffs coming up in IDL, so watch out for that. Season starting in CDL, so watch out for that. We're going to have lots of draft league content coming up, and I'm going to try to mix in some other content a little bit more than I have been. So, guys, make sure you check us out. Until next time, take it easy.